to our daily Bible study. I am your host, Dr. Derek A. Reeves, and let's dive right in. We're still on the series, Understanding Fear. This is the 11th study, and this is the 10th part that deals with terms for fear. We're still on the Hebrew terms, and today we're going to deal with one term that can actually mean the presence, and it is the word Paniym. Paniym. Paniym always seems to be in the plural sense, as a singular of an unused root, pane. Pane means the face as part that turns. And so when we deal with pane, it is the turning of the face, but Paniym is the turnings. It is the continual turnings of the face, which means the thought processes of one being there, focusing on you. If we were to unpack this, the turning of the face, which means to focus on, or someone spending time to pay close attention to you, therefore the plurality of thoughts, considerations, or to be present. And so this type of fear then deals with being in the presence of someone. And the presence of someone is bringing a slight intimidation. And this intimidation unnerves an individual because they're not used to functioning within the presence or the presences of individuals. It could be classified as being afraid to have the spotlight, being afraid to be considered, being afraid to be pulled up front. This type of fear is rendered in something that goes on deeply inside because the individual is lacking in confidence, they're lacking in authority, and sometimes they're just lacking in the desire to be up front. This could be for many different reasons. Sometimes individuals, when they have functioned up front, maybe it drew a lot of criticism. Maybe some people just like to work in the background. And sometimes individuals, they've developed a propensity to not be seen because in being seen, it takes away their anonymity and their capacity to work consistently to get something done. There are some people who, if they can just be turned loose to work, they will work and work extremely hard. And so Paniym, the face or the part of the face that turns. And so it deals with the face or one showing attention to. And it literally can deal with a face that brings forth heaviness, a face that can be turned, and a face that turns to a scowl or something that is impudent. Now, if we were to go a little further and to investigate the term a little more, it can deal with the presence of a person. It can deal with the face of a seraphim or a cherubim or animals. And so it indicates that something is before or standing near or around. And so with this preposition, then the fear is now coming forth from inwardly, but from the response of knowing that someone's presence is there. And so the fear then is excited because of the presence. And so again, it deals with at the face or front of the presence of or someone that's before. And so when we look at it, an individual that may be clouding or crowding your space, someone who is stepping into your comfort zone, looking you in the face. There are people who have not been properly trained or appropriately trained to be able to look at people or to deal with people who move in too close. Sometimes individuals invade our personal space, of a private space, and as they move in, it produces some uncomfort or discomfort. And let's unpack it a little more. Let's go a little deeper. In the ancient Hebrew, it means to turn the face, or the turning of the face. And as we investigate, it's very interesting because there is a part of this pictograph in the ancient Hebrew that means turning toward another direction. It is the corner, lest not, or peradventure. And so an individual is looking at someone or something that's coming in their presence, and they are making an assumption that something is about to happen. That's where the terminology peradventure, or lest, or perhaps, maybe something will happen. And so it's an uncertainty that deals with the presence of someone who is now turning towards you. The presence doesn't always have to be a dangerous presence, but sometimes the presence can be an intimidating presence. And so it can deal with something that glistens when it turns, a bright flash of light. It could be something that could also deal with the turning of a wheel, or what turns back and forth. And so to turn the face, or to turn directions, also to turn something back or turn it away. And so when it invokes fear, it's not as if you're turning something back or away, but whatever you're seeing, whatever comes into your presence, it now turns you away. Could be, again, the emotive stance that it makes. It could be the facial scowl or the frown. It could be that it's an intimidating image. But whatever the image and whatever the presence is, it's invoking something because it turns to you and it's looming at you. It's coming to you. And this advancement of this thing is causing you to feel intimidated or to feel unsafe. And so the image, the presence, it's forcing you back. It's turning you back because of the implications of how it's perceived, the implications of how it's coming to you. And in many times, a presence can be felt but not discerned. It can be felt, but you may not know exactly where the presence is. And so you feel the presence, and because the uncertainty of where, who, and what, and why it's present, it can also invoke fear. And so this presence can be something that is supernatural, a spiritual entity. It can be a natural entity, something that is invoking discomfort to you, something that is invoking uncertainty, something that is invoking you to look at yourself and to make an assessment that perhaps you can't deal with what is now in the room. And so we're going to stop right here because I do want to give ample time for the next two Hebrew terms for fear. But again, I thank you for joining us. I am your host, Dr. Derek A. Reeves, and this has been our daily Bible study in the series Understanding Fear.